I would start with the easiest one because people look at it as the largest problem because they haven't even realized what the largest problem is. And so I want to stick with the cars out on the street and pretty much squash this thought process of these things need to burn or they're going to cost us 40,000 gallons of water or 3.5 hours to 10 hours of putting them out. Not because it's not possible that could happen, but the reality of that happening and it being a huge concern to us is super low on my scale of concerns.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
My batteries. My big concern is the other stuff. So let's hammer out the on the street lithium ion battery car fire. And so, really right now what we have happening is the media. That's the biggest problem we have. And that's pretty much the fire service in general.
Are you talking about in life or in the fire service?
Yeah, totally. General, yes. Globally.
Okay.
But when it comes to these new things, they attach on to any sort of bad literature they can get. And so, the fire service has had a couple incidences where people are posting comments about 45,000 gallons of water and these things are wasting their time and they don't even have these kind of resources. So they're just going to let these things burn nowadays. Well, studies show and kind of the research through what we've been through so far that if the water is accurately placed where it should be on these vehicles, and you may have to get to that we can get into that by lifting it or moving it. But just in general, if we put the water on the source of where it's burning, directly on the source, then the fires that we're looking at are going out in 3,500 to 5,000 gallons of water.
In the structure, let's go to inside the structure.
Yeah, so
we went from the street, burning in the street. Now it's burning inside an enclosed space. So go ahead.
Yeah, the gases. Let's talk about the gases. It's hydrogen fluoride, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. Let's just stick with those four. There's a whole list of ones that are a problem, toxic, and some that are explosive. But these ones right here, when they sit inside a garage and they go into a thermal runaway, remember when I told you earlier how it can go from 100 to 200 to 245 to 300, and then eventually hits its ignition temperature, right? Of whatever that battery is. After 200 degrees of that temperature is when it goes into a visual thermal runaway. That's when you start to see the off-gassing. When you're seeing the off-gassing, we're already at 200 degrees. We haven't seen fire yet because it hasn't hit whatever that battery's ignition temperature is. But if we stick that in a garage and it decides to get irritated from either the plug or maybe the person hit the stop sign and penetrated the belly, but it didn't ignite right away. They drove home. They went ahead and parked it and they're like, man, I'm going to bed. And they shut their garage door and they leave it in there. It goes into that thermal runaway. Well, it starts to produce carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide right off the bat. Okay. But the carbon dioxide is taking out all the oxygen inside that environment. Now we start to fill it with let's just talk about hydrogen. We start to fill it with hydrogen. So we fill it with carbon dioxide and we fill it with hydrogen. That's the two big things that we fill this entire thing up with. It could take 3, 4, 6, 10, 12, 24 hours to fill up all of that compartment. It could be as quick as 20 to 30 seconds.
Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance. It is weekly scrap number 216. My guest tonight is Reginald McKnight, 41 years old, married, 3 children, played college basketball, currently a high school football coach. He has 16 years with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, the last 6 years as a lieutenant, involved technical rescue, hazmat, you name it. He is a recruit training instructor, a member of the tactical instructor crew. My brother, Reggie McKnight. It is my honor to have you on the scrap for episode number 216. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Chief, man. It's definitely an honor to be on your show, man. Watched quite a few scraps and never thought I'd be on here, but I'm definitely appreciative.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited about the topics we have picked out, and I'm excited to get to the questions. Is there anything I missed? Anything you'd like to add to the intro?
No, I think that's pretty much pretty much it. I mean, I'm a
Rock
pretty
on,
boring
Adi.
guy, man.
Go ahead. Sorry, I cut. Yeah.
I said, no, I'm a pretty boring guy, man. I just go to work, coach football, and cut my grass. That's it.
I love it. Is there audience? Get your questions ready, primed and ready. It's going to be a good time. There's going to be plenty to discuss. Quick announcements, as always. If you're not a member of the Vigilantes, you need to go and join. Go to firehousevigilance.com. Become a member of the Cool Kids Club. It's been a blast. We've got a forum coming up this week with Robert Ramirez. At the end of the week on Friday, the black on black vigilante hat. They're not. You can only get them in the vigilante only store. They're not out yet. As soon as the shirts get in and the books come in from the printer, all of it will be available in the store. All that being said, and of course the Vigilante After Party, which Reggie has said he will join us today. He has agreed to come to the Vigilante After Party and be roasted by the Vigilantes. So you can want to be a part of that. Go to firehousevigilance.com. And that takes us to the sponsors, Key Hose, the hose experts. Check them out online at keyhose.com. Follow them on Facebook. And of course, the Affordable Drill Tower. Firefighter owned and operated. The only thing that you can't do on an affordable drill tower is live fire. Affordable Drill Tower. You can rappel, stretch hose lines, go through the stairs, go through the floor, do window bailouts, cut holes in the roof props, use the apartment balconies, pump into the FDC, or flow water from the sprinkler system. Call Steve, 844-55-TOWER, or drop an email to info@affordabledrilltower.com. Fire Station Furniture. FirestationFurniture.com provides a complete line of quality furniture for your firehouse. Firefighter owned and operated. They understand the strain that firefighters love to put on furniture and offer furniture that's built to last. Visit www.firestationfurniture.com for more information. And with that done, we've talked about the sponsors. We've done the intros. It's time to get into the meat of the scrap. Reginald?
Yes, sir.
I'm using your full name here. I'm going to read what people are saying. Good evening, brothers and sisters, comes from Andrew Borja. Cody Brooks says, I'm not sure what I've gotten into, but I'm here for the ride. Caitlin Hughes already throwing questions. Good. That's great. Bobby Garcia says, let's go, Reggie. The Way of the Nozzle says, let's go. That's 4 O's, 3 exclamation points. Blue, my boy Blue from down in Texas says, let's go. Even more O's. Let's go, Peyton Price. Okay, lots of let's goes. Even Australia checking in. Steve, my man from down under.
Wow.
You guys are checking in from Australia. Okay. Man, tons of questions. So we're going to have questions to ask you, but we're going to start off by staying in your wheelhouse. One of the big reasons I wanted to talk to you was you're heavily involved in recruit training.
Yes, sir.
Specifically, how to train in today's I don't want to say the landmine or the minefield of today's world, but yeah, just today's the younger generation. We got so much to talk about, but specifically, let's talk recruit training, how to train in today's world.
Well, for us, we've been adapting to, the newer generation per se. Because I'm heavily in high school football, I get an opportunity to work with kids from all different areas, and I take that and I apply it to recruit training. So one of the things we've done is we try to adapt. We know this is a microwave society now, so we kind of try to shorten our lectures, make it a little bit more fun. It's not so much what I went through when I went through recruit training. A lot of stuff we did was because maybe the instructors wanted to, make fun of us, and it was just a rite of passage. But a lot of things we do now, it has meaning behind it. We want to be able to take a recruit, and their first day in the field, it's an easy transition. So
Nice.
We've changed a lot of things. We changed the physical fitness from, I like to term it as, we went from jailhouse workouts to now they're more structured. Even our first day, which is considered our hell day per se, we've got extremely structured in that format. So we've done a lot of things to adjust to today's generation, but not neglecting what we used to do and the things that made the fire service what it is today.
Absolutely. A couple things. Is it, when you say you adapt the workouts, is there people that say you've just made it easier and softer, or is it just different? What's your answer to that?
Absolutely not. So when I was in recruit training, one of my instructors, he was training for a marathon, so we ran 10 miles a day. and 8 to 10 miles. So if you didn't keep up in the run, then you pretty much had a target on your back from the other instructors. What we've done is we've broken it down to 5 days. So on Mondays we lift weights and we do plyometrics.
Nice.
Tuesdays we do gear workouts. Wednesdays we do runs. Those are our run days. It can be a steady run, no less than 3 miles, or it can be a combination of sprints that equal up to 3 miles or more. Thursdays we do your CrossFits and your WODs for all the CrossFitters, and Fridays, we do swimming yoga. Yoga isn't extremely popular, but I wasn't a big fan of it, but after doing it, I can definitely see its benefits. And the good thing about Fridays is we put our workouts or our PT at the end of the day to begin the recovering process leading into the weekend.
Okay.
So normally during the week, Monday through Thursday, PT is the first thing that we do in the morning at 0700. But on Fridays, we transition to PT being at 1445 up to 1545, and then they do the oath and the mission statement, and then they're out the door by 1600.
Nice. So you mentioned Hell Day, the first day, Hell Day.
Yes,
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, it's
Anything that's a trade secret you don't want to give away to upcoming recruits, I get, but
no, I think that listen, recruits, the way they communicate now with the social media, and WhatsApp groups, and all that stuff, they already know what's coming. They just when it actually hits them, they're still confused. It's just a series of events, breaking them down and building them up. See who can tolerate the mental stress that we're about to put them through, the mental and the physical stress. So we do that for probably about the first hour. Then we get into a workout. It's a structured workout that for the last, I'll say 7 to 8 classes we've been doing. It's a nice workout to judge whether this recruit has come in physically prepared. And then we go over our recruit manual. And in the afternoon, there's another workout, but that one's in gear. So we're definitely testing them physically and mentally that day. The instructors are not participating in that day. We're just pretty much drill sergeants that day.
I love it. All right, are you ready for questions from the from the audience?
Let's go.
Jake Deal, I like this question because it's on topic right here that we're talking about. What are you looking for from the start to the finish of your recruitment PT?
We're looking. For me, I'm looking for someone who is, given 110% in that particular workout. Sometimes we can do workouts. Our classes are pretty large, so it can be anywhere from 40 to 60. So, recruits can hide, but I'm looking for the one that's in the front no matter what, even if the workout is hard that particular day, but they're giving it all they got. If the workout required 100 burpees, I don't really care if the person did 100 burpees, but 50 of them were, excuse my language, half-ass.
Right.
I'm looking for the one that was only able to do 60, but they were 60 perfect burpees. That's what I'm looking for. And trying to see if that person is actually getting better day in and day out from the workouts.
Nice. That improvement?
Yes.
Like it. I like it.
Definitely looking for that improvement. We also we have 3 PT evals. So we test them for the 3 months that they're in recruit training with us once a month. And that way we can gauge objectively if somebody's actually physically getting better.
Right. No, that's awesome. No, that is cool, especially the check-in, like you said, objectively. Andrew Borrell wants to know, do you have the workouts available online, or are they available anywhere?
So we do something a little different than everybody else. When I initially got into recruit training, I allowed a good friend of mine I say, hey man, it's your task. You're going to be the workout guy. Design the workouts for us. Because before, when I first got in recruit training, when I was a recruit, it was just an instructor that liked to work out that did the workouts. Well, right. After three months, the workouts become the same, over and over again. If that person likes to run, like I said, the instructor I had that was training for a marathon, it was just long runs every day.
Right.
So a good buddy of mine, he put together a workout calendar for this one particular class. And I always get evaluations from the recruits at the end of the class. And we didn't get good evals as it pertains to the physical fitness. He was a CrossFitter. There was a lot of CrossFit workouts, and it was only shoulders and arms. So after that, I was like, all right, we got to do something different. And I decided to come up with this particular template where we break it down into 5 days, which I just explained. And now I make every instructor responsible for coming up with workouts. So each instructor gets their own week. So
Nice.
you're responsible for giving lectures, you're responsible for teaching practical skills, you're also responsible for working out. Every instructor that is in the cadre must be able to work out. We don't have instructors there that don't want to work out because, again, we're the first examples of what a firefighter should be for Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, and physical fitness is one of our main pillars. So each instructor has their own workout, and it's pretty cool because you have one instructor that may be a CrossFitter, myself, I'm a runner. So the recruits get a well-rounded physical fitness program for 16 to 18 weeks. Some instructors may be a little, their workouts may not be as hard, but for that particular week, it may benefit the recruits. You know, if we're doing 2.5 host management, then it benefits the actual recruit. So we don't actually have a workout booklet or calendar. It's all dependent upon each instructor, and a lot of instructors take it personal. I remember when Raymond was there, he turned it into Pride Week as if we were in high school football. So like it was rivalry week. So the recruits would put on eye black like they're football players. They would do chants. So I always tell the instructors, hey, personalize it and make it your own because this is your particular week.
Oh man, I love A, the personal example you require them to set by saying you have to work. B, man, the ownership of having to create their own and then giving them that freedom, that autonomy to build it into that, man.
Yeah.
I love that, brother. I absolutely love that. So thank you, Andrew, for that question. Great question. And I understand the answer now. It's different each time because it depends on the instructors that are involved. And they can change it from academy to
class.
academy. Yeah.
Yes. And one of the things we do, though, before we roll it out, if it's a workout that's never been done before, we test it out as instructors. Hey, man, this may be a little bit too much. Hey, man, you need to add a little bit more. Hey, this is just right.
Love it. Love it. I will. Okay. Lots of questions coming at you, Reginald. So I'm just going to keep pulling them up.
Okay.
I'll get to all of them, but I'm going to try and stay on recruit training and stuff at the beginning here. Eric Molinax asked, what is your advice on corrective actions in the new era for new recruits and rookies on the job who don't do the little things, both around the station and as recruits in academy training?
So I'm big on leading by example. So if you have a recruit or a probie that's not doing the little things, are you doing the little things? Or are you just telling them to do little things? So that's big for me. And you have to find out, what gets this particular individual going. Do they like the job? Do they love the job? Because some people walk into this profession, they may like it, and it's like when you're dating, you don't instantly love the person that you're dating. Over time, you develop that love. So if that's the case, take that particular individual and show them why you are so passionate about the job, why you love the job, and this is why the little things matter. And I'm definitely big on the little things. So just leading by example.
Love it. I love it. Thank you for the question, Eric. Going through them here. Paco, CO Carlin. Paco says, I might have missed it. How is your cadre put together, and how long does a cadre stay together?
I had a pretty good cadre. We stayed together for quite a while. I want to say we probably did at least 10 classes together, maybe a turnover of 2 to 3 instructors per class. And the way we select our cadre is based on your reputation. We were big on certifications at first. You had to have certifications. When I first got into recruit training, it was a certain amount of certifications. Now we've pretty much gotten away from it. I think part of that is because when I first got there, you were an instructor. You barked orders and that was it. When was given the opportunity to be a lead instructor, is like, hey, we're going to bark orders, but we're going to do them as well. We're going to lead by example. So everything we're asking the recruits to do, we got to do them too. If recruits are getting 25 push-ups for a mistake and it's constant, I have this saying where you're either teaching it or you're allowing it to happen. So we're going to do the push-ups too. And maybe it's something that we're doing or not doing. So our cadre is selected based on reputation and based on their skill set. And we pretty much stay together for a while. We've been having a little bit of turnover now because, of course, firemen, we got into this profession because one of the reasons why we got into this profession is because of the schedule. And our recruit training is now on a 40-hour schedule.
Right.
But we're looking to tap into something new. I'm not sure if anybody has done it, but we're looking to change the schedule and recruit training.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, hey, it'd be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah.
Very interesting, because that is a problem, getting people to want to work the 40-hour work week and go into training. I mean, that's a problem everywhere.
Oh, listen.
And then finding a way to get them out when they've done their stint, depending on the size of the department.
Well, yeah, we kind of burn guys out because we're pumping out classes left and right. Sometimes 2 classes at the same time. So it's extremely tough to keep good instructors for a long time, quality instructors. And the instructors are what drive the program. It's not the curriculum. It's not the chiefs. It's the instructors.
Right on.
And the key is to get good instructors, not certified firefighters who are instructors, but good instructors. So I don't care if they're certified or not. Do they have a passion for the fire service? Do they have a passion for teaching? That's key too,
No, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And the audience is throwing some killer questions. They're flying at you.
Yeah.
And you're crushing it so far. Thank you, Paco. Pulling up more. Jake Deal wants to know, do you have recruits quit? And if so, how do you handle that? In 2023, what do you see as the most challenging reality to new recruits?
Yes, we have recruits quit. We're 3 weeks into a new class. I just had a recruit quit in week 2. I respect it when they quit because this job is not for everybody, especially, when they quit earlier. One of the things that I've found or that I've been able to see is just the physical fitness aspect of it. They just can't keep up. And I think in society, if you go all the way to grade school, kids are doing PE online. I mean, I don't know what that's about, but so when they get to the fire service, I'm big on physical fitness. I have a physical fitness background, not so much, a degree in it, but I play sports all my life. So I'm big on being physically fit. And so they can't handle it. I always ask them, if they're sure, but I always remind them that it's going to get harder. So don't look for it to actually get easier. And when they quit, I'm not upset because that's somebody we probably saved their life,
Right. Or the life of people counting on them.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. I love it. Woo, yeah. Thank you, Jake. I like this question. Does Captain Gustin ever come out and show them up? That's a motivator right there. He's a legend.
Oh man, he never shows them up, but again, he's one of those individuals. He leads by example. When you walk in the gym after quitting hours, Captain Gustin is in the gym. Mm-hmm. When you get to work, he's already there. And so this guy is still the epitome of what a firefighter should be. So he always speaks to the class, man. I call him the Michael Jordan of the fire service. He is to me.
I think he is to a lot of people, brother. I really do mean that. Yeah, it's well deserved. Caledonia Fire asks, do you get kickback from other instructors or higher ups if they are tired during the day in training because of the workouts and whatnot?
Oh, is that for the recruits being tired?
I don't know. He didn't specify. I'm guessing he meant if the instructor's tired.
My instructors are really good, man. I can't recall an instructor, complaining about being tired. And again, we're careful about who we select.
Right.
If we do get somebody that's complaining about being tired, then that's the individual that shouldn't be there. Because again, we can't exercise empathy for a recruit if a recruit is in gear all day, but we're not.
Right.
We're just in BDUs and a t-shirt. So when that recruit has gone through a workout, has gone through multiple skill stations, and now we're yelling at them because they just can't grasp one particular skill, did we do the same thing to understand, all right, hey man, there's probably a time where we need to take a break. So we do a good job of allowing recruits to get breaks. Our class sizes is beneficial for them as far as break wise, not skill set wise, because sometimes we'll have 10 to 12 recruits at a skill station. And once 1 or 2 recruits go, you have to wait for another 10 to go. So that's their break and rest and recovery time right there.
Built into the size of the class. They were asking about the recruits. Do you ever get pushback because the recruits are tired?
No, my Chiefs are extremely supportive. The recruits, I mean, they know at the end of the day, I always, I joke and say, hey, you guys gonna sleep good tonight, because we literally start work at 6 a.m. They're walking in the door, they're checking out the trucks, they're setting up skill station, and we don't stop till 1600. I mean, we push it all the way to 1600, so we maximize the time.
Oof, yeah, I love it, man. Trying to get through them. I'm looking at the questions. What qualities? Timothy James Ramsey Dickinson. That's a long name, but I got it all in there. Timothy James is asking you, what qualities and qualifications would you say make a high valued instructor?
Number one for me would be passion. I always tell new instructors who come in, if you're not passionate amongst this particular group, amongst this cadre, you're going to stand out like a sore thumb. One, you got to be passionate. If you're passionate about teaching and relaying the information to the students, you're going to be great. The second thing is you have to be a student yourself. I always tell my chiefs, when we're getting class on top of class on top of the class, how are the instructors getting better? I'm not getting better because I taught SCBA 10 times. I'm actually becoming complacent. So you have to build in time where I can go out and the instructors can go out and seek training. So that's key. So
I love that.
Passion, also being a student yourself, and man, just loving what we do. The fire service. Like at the end of the day, there's a quote I always tell my nephew: "Hey, keep the main thing the main thing. Whether you're an instructor, whether you're a TRT, whether you're hazmat, at the end of the day, you're a firefighter."
Right on.
So
the main thing. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of notes.
No.
Hey, you are sliding slowly off the screen, so I don't know if you can tip the camera down.
Right.
No, I just don't want to lose you. Sam will keep you in frame, but if you could only teach one skill in recruit training, what would it be? If you had to do an only question.
One skill.
You only get to teach one skill. What would it be?
It would be mid-rise firefighting, multifamily dwelling firefighting. Yep, above ground.
I love it. There you go.
It requires teamwork. The water supply tactic and the actual deployment of the attack line. Big. I love mid-rise firefighting.
Bobby Garcia wants to know, when you first came to recruit training, who was someone that you looked up to and why?
I think every instructor that was there. When I was actually a recruit, I told myself that I will one day be a recruit training instructor. One, because I love the fact that my first instructors that I encountered, they were extremely passionate about the job. Is one of the reasons why I'm able to sit here before you now. And then two, I saw some instructors that had some poor qualities, and I was like, all right, I think they would have probably gotten through to most recruits had they taken another approach. So that was big for me. So every instructor that I taught with or that taught me was big for me.
Nice. I love it, man. Paco C.O. Carlin says, how big is the drill ground? Do you share the drill ground with other departments or PD or anybody else, or is it strictly yours?
No, this is strictly ours, and I want to say we have about 2 acres. We do share it with ops, but it's our drill ground, so we don't share it with a college or anything like that. So
Nice.
we can pretty much do whatever it is we want to do.
I like this question. What drill, this comes from Jake Deal, what drill do you do that you think has the most benefit for team building?
Team building. That's a good one.
They don't throw easy questions. They always
I guess when we do for team building, when we do hose management for high-rise firefighting, because it requires 2 teams, one crew that's on the floor below, and then one that's on the actual fire floor. So that's always a skill station that we can tell if the recruits are actually working together or they're not, depending upon if they're yelling at each other by the time the drill is over. So that's a good team building one, because you actually have to work together and you don't have an opportunity sometimes to see everybody that's on the line.
No, that communication.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Steve Kaiser wants to know, how do you manage the workout so as to avoid injuries and not affect the quality of skills training?
Great question. So depending upon what we are actually teaching that day, PT we won't prioritize PT over actual skills. So 2.5 is one of those days where we know that the recruits are going to get a beat down, so we scale back the actual PT.
Nice.
Again, all the workouts are tested out prior to, so that's another way that we minimize injuries. And again, I gotta say it, man. I think the yoga and swim has helped us out tremendously. Where we have pavement on our training grounds. There's no grass, actually none. It's all pavement and rocks, and so the running and the movement on the grounds, the going up and down the stairs, it takes a toll on the joints. So Friday with the yoga and the swim, I believe that has helped us tremendously.
Cut down those injuries.
Yes, sir.
That was with you. Like when they brought in a yoga instructor at one point, we still don't do it anymore. But and at the time I was like, well, we're not doing yoga. We're a bunch of firefighters, you know. But it was tough. Like it was strenuous.
Yes.
And B, it was probably beneficial. I can't prove it with but I'm trying to figure out. Jake has a question. Is there a reward or something to that? Or okay, I think I got it. Jake says, is there a reward or something of that nature for your top recruit?
Yes, we give at graduation, we give out outstanding recruit. We don't talk about the awards throughout the training. Amongst the instructors, we always discuss, man, hey, this particular individual is doing really well. Like they get it. And so in the end, we vote. The recruits don't vote as instructors. We vote on it. We probably narrow it down to 3 and we say, all right, who do you guys think is the most outstanding recruit?
Beautiful. Timothy James Ramsey Dickinson says, what are some of the training scars you've recognized and how do you try to mitigate them? We can't always get away from them transitioning from the academy to the fire floor.
Training scars, mannequins. It pisses me off when I see a recruit grab a mannequin by the neck. So what we've done to combat that is we purchase hockey mask. And now we're going to use live victims. It'll be the instructors. And in order for the instructor not to get beat up in the face,
right,
just wear the hockey helmet and mask. So that's probably one of the biggest things. The other thing is, because our training grounds, we have about 3 main structures that we use. And so they get complacent. They know where the living quarters is. They know where the master bedroom is. So we try to, through our one of our chiefs and our captains, we have a quiet structure program. So whenever we can take the recruits off the training grounds, we try to take advantage of that to get them to run the same drills but at a different structure. Because I saw that with one particular class, man, on the training grounds they were doing fine with pulling the lines, and then we went off site and they couldn't do it. And I was like, man, this is crazy.
Right.
And so we started implementing off-site training whenever possible. So
Nice.
if we have some acquired structures that we can go ahead and utilize, we'll definitely do that. We also utilize some of the structures that are in the particular territory of the training facility. So whenever we have certain topics, I use the example, intern 3/4. At the end of intern 3/4, we do two things. We do evolutions. So whatever skills they've learned up until that point, they have to apply them in a particular evolution. Of course, we can't use 40 recruits for an evolution. So the other half, we're taking them around the city and we're just deploying dry lines. Hey, here's your fire right here at this particular structure. Deploy the line there. So that's been helpful for us as well.
Nice. No, just changing the floor plans up and getting them out of the comfort, the complacent zone.
Yeah.
I like it. We're gonna. Do you have a search maze in any of your stations, or at any of your? I'm guessing the training ground station, the drill stations. Do you have a search maze?
We do have a maze. Our maze is actually a performance objective that you have to pass. We just did it last week. If you can't pass the actual maze, and we can conform our maze into 8 to 10 different courses. So we give them a beginner level course. Again, every instructor that is there has gone through the maze. We strategically place instructors throughout the maze during the testing, just in case we have an emergency. But the recruits must make their way through the maze. They have to complete it on air.
Nice. I like this question. Bobby Garcia asked. He says, "For firefighters who love the job, it becomes a bit obsessive. And you're a father. You have 3 kids, married. You're a high school football coach. How do you balance life, work, and family?"
Man, excellent question. Talk about it. Bobby was the class leader of the last class that just graduated.
Very nice. Very nice.
So I'll use you as an example, Chief.
Okay, I'm scared. Go ahead.
If I talk to people about you, it's like, man, he's a great firefighter, great chief. It's like, all right, man, give me the qualities that make him a great firefighter, a great chief. All right, great. And if he's lacking in his personal life, I always tell my guys, the same attributes that make you a great firefighter can make you a great husband, a great friend, a great father. And so what we have to do is take those same attributes and just apply them to our family and those relationships. Because if we're a good husband, a good dad, it just makes life at the job a lot easier. And so you just have to map out those times. You know, we're good with staying on schedule. You do the same thing. Hey, here's the time that we're going to go out. We're going to spend time together as a family. Same thing with the wife. Same thing with the kids. Don't allow the job to become. Don't let the job take over your life.
Right.
You definitely have to have that balance and lean on the close friends that you have in the fire service. We have to be reminders to each other to say, all right, hey man, it's time for you. You should be spending some more time with the family. I do it with my instructors all the time. And we have this little thing going on where I always say, all right, hey man, it's time for us to thank the people that have allowed us to be good at this job, because they're making a sacrifice for us, you know. So let's make sure that we make a sacrifice for them.
I love the answer, man. I love it. Absolutely. Great answer. Great advice. That comes from the Timothy who asked the question. Great question, Timothy. Thank you for it. Caitlin Hughes asked this one earlier. What is your favorite part of being a firefighter?
Favorite part of being a firefighter? Man, everything, man.
Okay.
I mean, when I was growing up, I thought I was going to be a professional basketball player, but nobody told me I was 5'10" and 100, 160 pounds, soaking wet. But I feel like, I'm a professional athlete, um, because the kids who I coach, they are always asking me about the job. Um, I get to do interviews like this with you. So, uh, man, I guess if I had to narrow it down to something, it's the ability to affect change. And what I mean by that is it's almost like a superpower. Whenever I run a call, whenever I'm teaching, I have the opportunity to affect somebody's life in a positive manner, and I try to take advantage of that.
Right.
Um, I think that's so cool, man. We can literally uh, be Superman. Sometimes we fail, but I think that's cool because everybody doesn't get an opportunity to do that. Everybody doesn't have the skill set to be able to do that. So I guess being able to affect change in a positive manner is probably one of the best things I love about the job.
I love that. I love the answer. I just keep every answer. I'm like, I love that. That's a great answer. Uh, how much thermal imaging camera training do your recruits get? That comes from Andrew Borgia.
Um, Minimal, not a lot. We introduce them to the ticks. We spend about half a day to 1 day on it, and that's it. We don't spend a lot of time, um, and it's because they don't have an opportunity to. They don't work with the ticks a lot out there in operations. Most of the time, it's the officer.
Officer.
So again, we try to prioritize every topic that we're teaching, and that's just not at the top of the priority list for us.
Sure. No, makes sense. Uh, Jake Deal, I like this question actually. Out of all the drills during the academy, which do you think is the most important, or which one has the most impact to your recruits? And I know the most questions are tough at times because
Yeah.
they all work together. I know, with all the process, but
Well, I want to say every drill is important, because it all depends. But the one I want to say that hit homes the most for us is fireground survival,
hmm,
because we really push the recruits to the max physically. After we do the skill stations are fun, but the final evolution, we call it fight to survive. And it's basically a combination of one of our difficult courses in the maze, which simulates a collapse, and then they encounter a hose line that was in a large warehouse, and they have to uh, find the coupling and go in the right direction to make sure that they're heading out of the structure. But while they're heading out of the structure on that charged hose line, they're encountering more obstacles, and it really maxes them out. And in the end, we do line of duty death presentations. So the 4 skill stations that we did, those particular skills were taught because of line of duty deaths.
right.
Um, so that really hits home. And then when the recruits, the ones who are unsuccessful in the final evolution, one of the things I think hits home with them is we started saying, all right, hey man, you did not make it, you died. We need you to write a letter to your loved ones.
Mm.
And man, that really hits home. Um, but in the end, because that week we call it survival week because we're doing RIT and fireground survival in the same week. So I think that's really when, and it's at the end. That's really when we capture a lot of our recruits.
Nice. No, I love it, man. I love the line of duty death implementation. The letter is amazing.
Yeah.
Just to drive home the point.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Jake Deal said it. I love it. You're backing up the why. Coming at you, Eddie Rivera wants to know. Hope you like all these. This is like you're getting a ton of questions thrown at you, my brother.
No, man, it's great, man. I'm
How do you
enjoying it.
revitalize discipline, motivation, or purpose in a mid-level firefighter, the 5 to 6 year guy that is becoming complacent and slipping in their performance?
Um, I tell the recruits this all the time, man. Motivation runs out, but I also explain to them, just like You feed your body food when you know when you're hungry. You drink water when you're thirsty. You have to do the mind the same way. And so that's one of the reasons why I'll watch your podcast, other podcasts. I'm always looking for motivational things on my drive to work in the morning, just to feed my mind and my spirit. Now, again, there's a bunch of days I don't feel like doing it, but the key is got to have discipline above everything else. You got to. Um, you have to develop that discipline. You have to learn how to do things when you don't want to do them. I tell my kids, I don't like paying a mortgage every month, but I got to do it.
Right.
And so you have to implement discipline right away, and that's what we do in recruit training. Motivation, that's great. Sometimes you'll be able to motivate some people, sometimes you can't. Um, the other thing is, man, we have to surround those individuals with people uh, that are extremely motivated and that are extremely disciplined. So when those individuals fall into that, I'll ask you, all right, what are their surroundings? Who are they working with? Where are they working at? Because when you're around guys who are highly motivated, man, it's extremely difficult to fall into complacency because they won't allow you.
Right. No, I love the answer. Lot of stuff coming on recruit training and everything, but we also want to talk about leadership, how
Yes.
to be better leaders, keys to leading. I wanted to get to this topic with you because I love discussing leadership, but you have a take on it and I want to hear it.
Uh, Leadership for me is just, leading by example. Leading by example, everything that you're asking somebody to do, I think you should be able to do it. I think you should be doing those things. Um, Leadership is always evolving. You're always learning. I don't think you ever reach the mountaintop of leadership. Hey, man, I'm a great leader, and that's it. I think it's something that we're learning how to get better at each and every day. Um, find people who exemplify the leadership qualities that you want to exemplify. Maybe there's some people that you don't understand why they lead that way, but hey, man, talk to them. You may have different leadership styles. So I think I'm more of a leader that I'm not extremely rough. I try to adapt to each individual, but there's some leaders that, man, they're hard set on, man, this is how I am. You either deal with it or don't be around me. But I think that quality is necessary at certain points in time. And so I think you need to have an open mind about the leaders that you really don't agree with their leadership style, because you may have to adopt some of their qualities. So take classes on leadership, read books on leadership. But you also, man, every day in your life, you have to focus on being a good leader, even at home.
Right.
When you're asking your wife, why did she do this, or are you exemplifying those things that you want her to do? So I
Right.
think leadership is it's every day, man. Have
I
to
love it.
attack it every single day.
No, and it ties right back into, like you said, the leadership you show to the recruits by leading by example. It ties right back to it.
Yep.
The new generation, you deal with them a lot because you said you've been through about 10 classes now, and they're pretty big classes, 30 to 60 a pop. Yes,
Yes, sir.
man, that's a lot. You've been exposed to a lot of the new generation. Have you identified? Is there key characteristics that you can identify, especially? I don't even know the type of question I'm asking. Like who's going to be successful and who's not. Things that you've identified.
I haven't, really narrowed it down to, I guess I can kind of tell who's going to be good, but I also remind the recruits too, like I know if you're playing a game. So I guess that one stands out, the one that
Okay.
comes to recruit training that's playing a game. Man, I hate that phrase, and I hate when individuals do that, because it's not a game. I'm not here investing all this time into the program, into the fire service because it's a game. No, man, this is a way of life. This is a culture. So we always say embrace the culture. Um, so some people I I pick up on right away. The other ones I can say like, oh, that one's going to be really good. And then I also tell them what you do here is it's great. You're successful here. I want to see you in 5 years.
Right on.
I don't want to see recruit training because I have on this red shirt. You're going to do exactly what I tell you to do. When you're on probation, you're worried about losing your job. You're going to do exactly what you're supposed to do. 5 years from now, when nobody's watching, who are you then? So that's big for me.
I love it. And they corrected me very quickly. He's done 20 classes. I'm like, okay. I'm sorry. Sorry, I said 10. But no, absolutely. The audience is on top of it. Purpose. Why are you a firefighter? I want to hear the purpose.
Oh man. I think, this is God's purpose for my life. I didn't grow up wanting to be a firefighter. I had no idea about firefighting, nothing like that. Again, like I told you, I wanted to be a professional athlete, but not for the money. When I was playing basketball, I truly love basketball. So younger in my life, I learned to chase purpose and not money. So I'm never driven by money. And firefighting came along when I was in high school. They had posters placed around the high school. But I ignored it because I was going off to play basketball. And then basketball didn't work out. I came back home and I went to sign up to be a firefighter. I'm like, man, this is what I'll do. And I was like, I'm going to do it because I don't want to work behind a desk. That was my biggest thing, And so when I went to go, I told my mom, hey, look, I'm going over here. But my mom was like, no, what are you doing? You don't need to be a firefighter. You need to be a correction officer. And my mom, she didn't know at the time because I grew up in a Boys and Girls Club. So my mom was a single mom. My dad was murdered before I was born. And so all of the men that helped raise me at that Boys and Girls Club were correction officers. They were really good mentors for me. So my mom was like, no, that's what you're going to do. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And, I joke where like you said your goal was to keep me out of prison, but you're sending me to prison to be a correction officer. So she talked me out of it, really. And I went and worked for the local boys club where I grew up, and I was like, all right, I'll be a mentor. And man, my mom ran into a friend that she went to high school with, and he told her that, he was a firefighter. He asked about me, and my mom was like, yeah, Reggie wanted to do it, but I told him no. And then he was like, give me a second. So he came back and he showed my mom his paycheck stub. And so then my mom was like, hey, you need to be a firefighter. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be, you talked me out of it. And just so happened that Miami-Dade had opened up, and I filled out the application process. And because of the job I was on, I was extremely disciplined. What was beneficial at the time too was I didn't have to be to work until 2 p.m. All of the appointments that I had was always in the morning. Had I had to be to work at 8 or 9 in the morning, I would have never went to the appointments because I was big on never missing work. And so I was able to make it to all the appointments. And then, man, I'm sitting here now. And
the rest is history.
Yeah, this is exactly where I should be, man.
Everything happens for a reason, man.
Everything happens for a reason, man. I tell everybody, man, I don't know if this sounds sad, but I can't see myself doing anything else. This is my hustle. Like I don't want to do anything else. I have the ability again to affect change. I have the ability to work with all different type of people, man. I love what I do. I don't wake up in the morning and say, man, I got to go to work. I don't feel like going to work today. It's never like that. My body may be tired, but mentally, no.
I love it. He's killing it, brother. Christopher Armiger has a long question for you here, but
Okay.
he boils it down at the end, so there's a lot of setup for it. But I like this question. It says, we always talk about leadership and leaders and finding or seeing who the leaders are, even in academy. Can you see the followers? How do you recognize the followers? Those who are smart enough to just follow for now and are patient enough to become great leaders when the time is right. What do the best followers look like to you?
The best followers look like to me the ones that when they're given an order, they execute it. I would say we have a recruit training program, and then we have our probationary development program. Every individual instructor that's in our probationary development program, I would say they are being great followers right now, because myself, along with a couple other instructors, we came up with a new program for our probationary development office, and the 5 individuals that we have in that bureau now is executing the plan to perfection. And so identifying a great follower is those individuals that whatever the mission is, they're about the mission and they're going to execute it. They're going to make the leader look great. Whether the plan is good or not, they're going to execute it. That, for me, that's a great follower.
That's a great answer. That is a great answer, man. And a beautiful question to lead into.
Yeah.
One of my favorite questions that I ask on the scrap, which is book or books that you think firefighters should be reading. Doesn't have to be a firefighting book. It can be, but is there a book or books that you think? I'm always looking for new books to read, so I love asking this question.
Atomic Habits is a good one. That's a really good book. Man, I gotta.
Atomic Habits is one of my favorites. I do love the book.
Yeah, that's a great book. A book I just read that was awesome for me, man, was Perfectly Wounded by Mike Day.
Perfectly Wounded.
Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was shot 27 times and survived.
Woo.
Man, the book is so great because I tell recruits this all the time. This is why what you go through in life, you should never complain. You should always embrace even the hard. I'm going to get a little religious here for a second.
All right.
There's a Bible verse that I live by, James 1, chapters 2 through 4, verse 2 through 4. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and my sisters, when you encounter trials and tribulations of many kind, that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, that you may be mature, complete, and not lacking anything." So God is basically saying, when you're going through trials and tribulations, he wants you to consider it pure joy. Now, that's extremely difficult when you're in the midst of that. But the book, Perfectly Wounded by Top, man, the things he went through in his life, they all had a purpose, and it got him to the point where he was able to survive. And man, his story is an amazing testimony. I love it, man.
No, I would check that out then, because I like it when someone's passionate about a book, and you're very passionate about that book.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check him out. Which that takes us to one of my favorite parts of the scrap, and it's the 5 questions for firefighters. It's been going on for over 200 episodes, and we've had to change the questions up just because, after they've been answered for a while, there's nothing new to answer. So we're currently at the 5 questions for firefighters version 3.2. So I'm basically asking you, Reggie, are you ready for the 5 questions for firefighters version 3.2?
I'm ready.
All right. Now the rules are this: there are no right or wrong answers. It's just your opinions. The audience and myself are the ones who hand out the points.
Okay.
And it's completely arbitrary. So here we go. Number 1, what is the skill that has carried you through your fire service career?
The skill, work ethic. Not even close, man. I tell people all the time, you'll run into people that work with me, people that have worked with me, and they'll say, "Man, hey, Reggie's a great firefighter." We've never even had a fire together, but it's my work ethic that I think has cause them to say, hey, yeah, man, he's a great guy. So my work ethic is the one.
Love it. That's an easy max points.
Yeah.
Because earlier you said motivation will run out, but discipline keeps you going. That discipline's tied to that work ethic, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love consistency in the answer. All right. I love this new question. It's Jobtown. And there's like boom sauce, max points from Aaron Johnson. Jake Deal said max point. Adrian Ballard said max points. So it's not just me. You get max points across the board, maxed out, max points for the quick response and reasoning. Josh Everett gave you max. Okay. Number 2, it's Jobtown. It's time. You're en route and responding. You got to think of the scene from Backdraft where he's putting the tape in the tape deck, because we're both old enough to remember tape decks. He slaps it in there. What song are you playing en route?
Easy. I'm a football coach, former football player as well. Phil Collins Air Tonight.
Oh yeah, the drum.
Easy.
I like it. Especially the drums, the breakdown.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, that gets me fired up. That's easy max points. So, I'm not even waiting for the audience to chime in on it because of the drum breakdown. Number 3, what is? Yeah, Bobby Garcia said, Max, I need to see you do the drum solo. All right. Number 3, what is your favorite fire service tradition?
So I guess I'm gonna say for me it's dinner, but then also I guess off shift. I used to have this discussion with my battalion chief every morning. I'm guessing it's the talks at the dinner table. Dinner, of course, but I used to have these discussions with my battalion chief. He's a guy from West Virginia, and I'm from the inner city of Miami, and we still talk to this day, and we still keep in contact to this day. He always sends me a text. I always check up on him. So the dinner table, that tradition, the discussions we have there, the laughs that we have there, the rumors that we talk about there.
Sure.
It's the firehouse dinner table.
Easy, man. Easy max points for the dinner table, man. No doubt about it. And staying in touch. And it's the different back. I've told people this all the time. I've met people that if I'd met them in any other way, shape, or form, we would have nothing in common. We would not be friends. But they're some of my best friends in life because
Absolutely.
of the time we spend together and that dinner table.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Number 4. This one we had to put on the clock because it was taking too long to answer. So it's on the clock. Sam, you can see the clock up above me. And I'll put you on the clock, but you get to put 4 people. Who would you put? The 4 people you would put on your Mount Rushmore of the fire service. And go.
The first one is going to be John Norman. I got an opportunity to meet him at FDIC. His brashness is pretty cool, but when he seems brash, but when you talk to him, he's a really cool guy. The next one would be the late Chief Brunacini. His approach to servanthood, serving the public, is amazing. I love it. Of course, the Michael Jordan of firefighting, Captain Bill Gustin.
Love it.
And the fourth one, I'm gonna kind of go left field on this one. We'll leave it blank, but it's going to be the recruit or the probie that you can see from day one that this person is going to be special.
Ooh, I like the answer. I really do, because you look at I actually like that answer. Absolutely. There it is. And with time to spare, 8 seconds to spare. John Norman, Brunacini, Bill Gustin, and I really like it because it keeps you in a proactive mode of looking for them.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Raymond Big Black said max. I can't even count the number of A's there. Max out. Absolutely. Okay, final question. The question that's never changed. It is heavy fire. There is searchable space. Would you rather be assigned to that nozzle or first in on VES?
Put me on the nozzle. I'll take a quote from one of my instructors, and that is, I know the VEIS is scoring a touchdown, but somebody's got to block. So I'll block. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with doing the dirty work.
I love it. And absolutely max points across the board. Dude, I absolutely love it. 5 for 5, max points, easy max points. Absolutely crushed the 5 questions for firefighters version 3.2. And there you go, according to Reginald McKnight. And that officially makes it 216 scraps in the books. My brother, Reggie McKnight, what an amazing evening. First of all, thank you for sharing your evening with me and the audience. But if someone wants to get a hold of you, reach out to you, pick your brain, what's the best way to do so?
They can email me. Everything we do in recruit training on the probationary side, man, I'm willing to share. Nothing, I own nothing. So you can reach me at Reginald, REGINALD McKnight, MCKNIGHT Jr. JR at miamidade.gov.
Love it, man.
They can email me there. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Those are, you want to find my Instagram page, just my name. And like I told you earlier before we started, my grandmother was big on, hey, make sure you use your name and make sure everybody remembers your name. So I don't have like aliases and stuff like that. Closest alias I got is Reggie. So you can find me on there as well. And like I said, man, I'm willing to share any and everything.
Love it. And I try to sprinkle in the Reginalds in case when your grandma watches. All right. Everybody needs to go to firehousevigilance.com. You need to be a vigilante. Go join. It's $5 a month. Or you can sign up for a year at a time. They get to ask whatever questions they desire, and it leads to some good discussion. Man, the Vigilante shop is almost set up. The Vigilante only shop. It's the new hats, the new shirts, all that stuff. If you want the exclusive merch and the exclusive Cool Kids Club, go become a part. The shop will go live as soon as everything comes in. It's all been ordered. So go be a part. Next week, it is the one and only Brian Crush. He is coming back on the scrap. Super excited about that. Followed the week after by Lieutenant Ray Mack, Uncle Ray McCormick coming on. He's talking about a new nozzle that needs to be discussed. We need some discussion about it. Moving into the final quarter of 2023, it's absolutely crushing it, man. Reggie tonight, Brian, and then Ray McCormick. It's just like, it's absolutely crushing it. Vigilantes, I will post a link in the private group for the after party. Reggie has agreed to come on and be roasted by everybody. So we will see you in there. As soon as the scrap ends, I'll post the link. Go register. My brother, Reginald McKnight, thank you so much for being a phenomenal guest and sharing your evening with us and the audience.
Thank you, man. Again, I truly appreciate the platform you gave me tonight, man.
I think your answers brought value to the fire service, plain and simple, man. And the audience, you make the scrap magical. You ask the best questions. You threw good, hard curveballs at Reggie at times, and then some nice soft tosses that he could crush. So it was great. You make the scrap magical. I can't ever say thank you enough for tuning in live. Remember, mutts don't scrap. I hope the tones stay silent unless it is burning. Everybody, stay safe out there.